Daisy Rain sat there. She let out a purr as her back was warmed by the sun. She looked around camp. Everyone she knew was dead. Snake Star and Sunheart and even... She caught off her breath as two kittens slowly approached her. She chuckled gently as they wrapped around her paws and swatted at loose ends of fur that stuck out from her stomach and other parts of her body. "Oh, kittens," she purred gently, looking down at the two. A smile crossed her muzzle as they seemed to circle her. She wished she could have kittens, but she knew no cat would ever want to become her mate. She quickly made eye contact with a black and white Tom with yellow eyes, and she averted her gaze, knowing that nothing would end well with that. Her heart seemed to blossom, however, the more she looked at him. But she knew that, like she said again, nothing would come out of it. Her tail swished briefly as she looked up towards the black and violet-eyed cat on wet rock. She knew that nothing good was about to happen, and the news would be sad.
"I'd like to say that sadly, our leader has sadly passed away."
The old she-cat spoke, and her ear perked. Did this mean that the cat speaking, the old deputy, and a senior warrior would become leader? She was quite an old cat, and she wondered if she was up for the job.
"Now, before I leave to get my 9 lives, I'd like to make a new deputy," she spoke.
The Molly's ears flattened, more than they already were, and Daisy Rain watched her. She knew she wouldn't be picked, since, she was a kitty pet at heart, or that's what other cats said.
"If you would like to become a deputy of the clan, please step forward."
Daisy Rain watched as several cats step up. She saw the orange and yellow creamish cat she had seen before, named Sundew, and the same black and white Tom with the kitten that made her heart seem to blossom. She watched as her cheeks seemed to growish a red color, and she almost felt her stomach twist in joy at seeing the Tom. She watched as the Tom set the kitten down and laid. Her gaze scanned him for a second, but she quickly stepped back, not wanting to breathe down their shoulders and backs. She wondered if he would become deputy, and she also knew that Sundew was a great choice. So she didn't really know who would be deputy. She didn't even really know if Lucifer Scowl was his name, but she kind of thought it was, but she didn't know for sure. She didn't know the kitten's name, though. She continued to watch as suddenly the black and vine-legged she-cat spoke up again. "The new deputy of River Clan, while I get my 9 lives and will be in charge of camp, will be Sundew." The Tom went up onto the rock quickly, and she raced towards him. "Congratulations, Sundew!" She spat out her words. The Tom didn't seem to respond and just kind of sat up on wet rock. Her ears bent back sadly as the Tom laid down slowly. She wished he would talk to her more often. Her ears flattened a little bit more as Lucifer Snarl, the Tom who she thought that was the name of, sat next to her. She moved quickly as she stared at him. Her stomach twisted as she watched him lick his muzzle and then drew a paw over his ear. "Congrats," she whispered again towards Sundew, but the Tom still didn't respond. "I will now pick a medicine cat," the new leader, or soon-to-be new leader, said. Quickly, everything faded out as she lost consciousness of the conversation going around her. Moth gently and quietly walked out past the River Clan camp. As the meeting had ended, she found herself leaping across the river and sitting there. Her tail twitched gently when suddenly a gray and swirled and spangled cat approached. "Hey, wait up," she said. "What?" Daisy Rain said depressedly. Wanna be a warrior? I know you're a kitty panel." A gasp caught in Daisy Rain's throat. I am a warrior. I am a warrior. I'm not a kitty pet. I'm not anymore, and I won't be. Just accept me for who I am. Why does all this matter?" She raced along the edges of the river as she found herself underneath a bush soon enough, crying quietly once she had finally gotten up. On her way back, Daisy Rain saw a shell on the shore bank and quickly picked it up in her jaws. After that, she swam through the river and gently trotted in through the medicine cat den, brushing past some fronds that made her coat dotted with light green little leaves, but she kind of liked it and didn't brush it off. She continued to walk in, seeing the cats around the camp, and realized that no, she did not come in from the medicine den. She chuckled to herself. She still didn't know the camp. Once she had sat down, Sundew was on the rock. "I'd like to announce that the saddening passing of our leader has happened. She was so new, but yet an old warrior, and on the way to the moonstone she had been attacked by a badger." Her ears pinned down, but she controlled her sadness for the lasting as she continued to stare at the black and white Tom. "You probably should go meet some other cats," she heard the black and white Tom say to his kitten. "This is my chance," she thought. She dropped the shell as the young kitten slowly began racing towards her, or that direction. She tried to control herself, and eventually said, "Your kitten is very cute," she purred. You have a very cute kitten. You must be proud," she said gently. "Where are all the other kids?" Daisy Rain overheard the young kitten meow. The black and white Tom didn't seem to respond immediately, but after a while, he looked at her. "Oh, thank you, Daisy Rain? I think that's your name." "Oh, yes." Her tail twitched as she heard Amber Sky say her name, but it quickly passed in and passed out as the cats talked to her. She watched as the young kitten squatted there, and she poked at its nose. "Oh, aren't you just the cutest thing? What's your name?" she asked. "Oh, I'm Pumpkin Kit," Pumpkin Kit meowed. "Oh, that's a very pretty name. Who named you? Your father? This is your father, right?" "Yes, my father's Lucifer Scowl, right here." "Oh." Daisy Rain sat there and smiled at the two, as it soon began getting dark. "Well, young kitten, you're gonna be a strong warrior of River Clan, I can tell you that." The cats around her seemed to smile, as they once always did. It was a friendly clan, except their hatred towards kitty pets, which she didn't really understand. "Your flowers look really cool and cute," Pumpkin Kit meowed. She smiled at the young she-cat. "Well, thank you, little one. No one's ever told me that before. I kind of had to replace them ever since I had to get rid of my two-leg thing." "So you were a kitty pet?" Pumpkin Kit asked. Her ears flattened. She didn't usually start off conversations that way. "Well, I was a kitty pet. Now I'm a warrior through and thick and through. So you don't have to worry about that anymore." Her eyes squinted as it became dark. "I looked plain without it, so I got these flowers instead. I love flowers too.
I wouldn't say you look plain without them. And why did you leave your kitty pet place?
Lucifer Scowl asked. Oh, well, there were these two mean Toms who chased me away. She trailed off.
What was the food like?
The pumpkin kit meowed quietly. Oh, young one, it was much wetter and still kind of tasty good. Well, it was still kind of good, but you wouldn't like it, I'm sure. You should stay a warrior of River Clan. I wouldn't say it's a very good idea to ever go to Kitty Pet Place. Unless you really want to.
Also, Daisy, I'd like to say if other cats are picking on you, they're probably just jealous of you.
Oh, I realized that. She looked away from the Tom's gaze. I try not to let it get to me, but let's just say it's kind of hard. I'm a very sensitive cat, and I don't have many friends anymore since they all died. So it's kind of hard not to just let the thoughts gnaw at me slowly.
Oh, I want to I want to go to bed.
Pumpkin Kit whimpered beneath her. She looked at her as Lucifer Skull nodded.
Okay, Pumpkin Kit wants to go to bed, so we should probably leave.
Okay, Daisy Rain purred as the scene silently and quietly faded to white.